So the Yankees got pretty lucky a couple weeks ago. Why do you ask? Well, let me tell you why. Let's get into that right now. Oh, it's been a busy day, and it's going to be a busy day. Still waiting for results from Luke Weaver's physical, which happens today. And once he passes, if he passes, officially becomes the Yankees will make a roster move at some point today to get him on the 40. So expect a DFA or a trade or something to happen today to make room for Luke Weaver, who's going to be a fixture in the bullpen. Okay, just something to keep in mind. But why did the Yankees get lucky? Well, you know who this guy is? This is Jared Cerna, their young, scrappy infield prospect. Okay, draws comparisons to Justin Pedroia. I've talked highly about him, and I've even had the opportunity to interview him. And the kid's got a good head on his shoulders. He's an absolute gamer. Okay, and he's got actually a mixture of Jose Altuve and Dustin Pedroia, a more character side from the Pedroia, and he could essentially be a replacement for Gleyber Torres for the infield here. So, and this past year he batted what 280, 284, 19 home runs and 79 RBIs, 28 doubles too. So he's an undersized player, but he packs a huge punch with his bat. So he was actually exposed a couple weeks ago to the Rule 5 draft and left unprotected. Nobody picked him, so he's still here. So the Yankees got lucky there. That's why I say that. They got lucky he wasn't chosen, just like they got lucky a year ago when they exposed Andres Chaparro to the Rule 5 draft, and he wasn't chosen either. Then he had a resurgent year, and then he was claimed by the signed with the Arizona Diamondbacks. I'm hoping that Jared Cerna also continues his production, and there's opportunities moving forward for him, potentially being in the infield. So, because we don't know what the Yankees are going to re-sign Gleyber Torres, we just don't know. They have so much infield depth, and they're going to continue adding infielders. Are going to continue making trades and so on and so forth. So I'm also hearing from beat writers today. If you saw the hot stove last night, Jack Curry said that the Yankees seem to be all set in the starting rotation and the lineup, and they're focusing on the bullpen. But I'm also hearing from beat writers today that are saying Blake Snell's market is just not materializing, and he might fall into the Yankees' lap. Maybe back in the original offer of 5 years, 150 million. If they can get him at that price, I still think it's high. I don't know if they're going to do that because they're over the Cohen threshold already. And I don't think he guarantees the anything here, anything. So, it could be a frontline pitcher, but you've also added Marcus Stroman, and you added Cole, Stroman, Rodon if he pitches well. These other guys. Clark Schmidt's he's in his second year, going into a second year as a starter. He's going to take his next step forward in development. Okay, you have kids like Adam Warren and Chase Hampton that are knocking on the door, potentially Mr. Cortez. So you have a pretty deep rotation already. It's pretty solid. But if you add a Blake Snell, another frontline guy who can also give innings, and they've also added Luke Weaver, and I still expect them to add a starter, whether it's Blake Snell or not. But and I'm not trying to hype you up. I don't like doing hype. So, but I told you I'd tell you everything. And Jack Curry said that he thought the Yankees were done, but I had these other beat writers, Tim Kirchin and a couple of these other folks that are saying that Blake Snell could just fall into the Yankees' laps. So we'll see what happens there. But in another piece of news, and by the way, more news is going to happen. I'll put out something later once we get the results of Luke Weaver's physical and the roster move that comes along with it. So be sure to sub to the channel if you haven't done that yet. Hit the notification button too. That way you're in the front of the line when it does come in. And then you're notified anytime I go live. And if you find yourself enjoying this content, please hit the like button too. Thumbs up. I thank you so much for it. Okay. And the Yankees also made a roster move today. They also signed another utility guy. Yeah. Again, I know a lot of people saying that. Another dumpster diving and blah blah blah. This is what Cashman does. And for the folks that say that Yankees haven't been busy, Cashman, they've made 6 trades. 27 minor league signings so far. They claimed 3 guys off waivers. They added 2 free agents so far. Okay, and they're still going to add relief pitching. That's pretty active, pretty busy. Show me another team that's been that busy this offseason. Doesn't need to be big time. So, but back to Jared Cerna before I get you the intel on this utility player. He's the number 18 prospect for the Yankees. Okay, Again, he plays multiple infield positions. Okay, he's also named the league's rookie of the year last year, batting 310 with 7 home runs when he played winter ball in Mexico. So he's a good player and he's a developing prospect. Now, speaking of infield, staying in the infield, they've signed utility player Jose Rojas. Okay, who played about 80 plus games with the Angels over the last 2 years. They signed him to a minor league deal with an invite to spring training. So he's not going to be on the 40 man. But they've added utility guys already last week and this week. So he's the third utility guy that they've added now. And again, this is good depth in AAA in the high levels of the system and infield depth protection at the major league level too. I know they've already brought in Jeter Downs. They've traded for Yorvik Vivas, right? They have Oswald Peraza. They have other guys too. But this gives them an opportunity to be a little bit more creative if they want to move on from guys and use some of these infield kids, the young kids that are here in trades for pitching. They have guys that they can just replace them with, okay, in the infield. So that's another reason why they have so many of these depth pieces in the utility side. And they like positional versatility, as do I, and I hope that you do too. So, but you let me know what you think. But again, the Yankees got lucky. Okay, they left Jarrett Cerner exposed to the Rule 5, and he wasn't picked. I don't know about you. I'm glad that that he didn't get picked because I think he could be a fixture here moving forward. And he's got to progress his way up to the system. Obviously, he's 21 years old, but I think he's going to be a good player. He's going to be a good player. He bats on the right-handed side. Again, this is if any of the prospects could credibly replace some of Gleyber Torres' offensive production, it's a kid like this. Okay? Because we already know that Oswald Peraza likely not going to replace his offensive production if he moves on, Torres. So he'll definitely improve the defense with his glove, but he's had trouble hitting major league pitching. But he also hasn't gotten a fair shot either, like Anthony Volpe has. So, but Jarrett Cerner has shown consistency all across the board at every level so far, hitting the ball, putting it in play, spraying it everywhere, and that matters. That matters. So, but back to the point, Jarrett Cerner, Yankees, don't do it again, please. Please don't leave him exposed again. Okay. And some people have asked recently, what about the kids that were just signed internationally? They're not eligible for the Rule 5 draft because of their age. They're not eligible for probably another 5 years. So you don't have to worry about those guys being picked in the Rule 5 just yet. There are age restrictions and criteria that players have to be here a certain amount of time before even being eligible for Rule 5. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So, but this is what the Yankees do. They make a lot of these types of moves and expect them to add another reliever or two, potentially even a starter. Okay, and it's a display. I mean, it's kind of crazy. Like on one day, I'm like, Blake Snell's not coming. Then you have these beat writers saying, well, he could fall into their laps. But again, I'll believe it when I see it. But the fact that they keep saying it with some regularity now, it definitely leaves an impression that there is a chance, even if it's a small chance, that it could happen. But I wouldn't increase the offer. I wouldn't negotiate against ourselves because as far as we know, he has not received the higher offer, right? So why increase when you don't have to, essentially? So, but again, they'd have to, address payroll. They would have to shed some payroll, I think, in that regard. So, but we'll see what happens. But that's what I got for you right now. Lots of information today and more information coming later. Have a good day. Talk to you next time.